member from Windsor, Tecumseh.
Speaker, thank you. My question this morning is for the Premier. Good morning, Premier. First, I want to thank you for the phone call last night and keep me in the loop on the situation at Chrysler. Speaker, when there are jobs on the line, we need to set aside our political games and grandstanding and work to make investments happen. People in Windsor and Essex County are very concerned about the long-term future of our Chrysler plant and the jobs of the thousands of people who work there. What assurances can you give, Premier, that your government is doing everything possible to work with Chrysler to ensure its Windsor operations will remain viable?
Thank you, Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member opposite for the question. I know that the Minister of Economic Development and Trade is going to want to speak to this. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to just say that I want to let everyone in this House know and the public know that the member for Windsor West has been Windsor West, right? Yes. The Minister of Children and Youth Services has been an absolute champion on this file, Mr. Speaker. That she has worked tirelessly to make sure that our policy of having an open door and working for those long-term commitments, Mr. Speaker, were absolutely what we were doing at the table in conjunction with the federal government, Mr. Speaker. So the auto sector in this province and in Windsor, Mr. Speaker, has a huge champion in our member, and I hope, Mr. Speaker, that we will be able to continue those negotiations. We have our door open.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, I want to assure this House that my New Democratic colleagues and I take our responsibilities seriously when it comes to securing good auto sector jobs in this province. We're calling on all parties at all levels of government to set aside their political differences and pull together on this one. Premier, can you assure our Chrysler employees, indeed our entire community, that your door remains open for future dialogue with Chrysler officials about the long-term viability of Windsor's assembly plant operations?
Minister of Economic Development, Trade and Employment.
Minister of Economic Development, Trade and Employment.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hope the member opposite walks over and provides the Leader of the Official Opposition a copy of that letter right now, because currently the Leader of the Official Opposition is living in a fantasy land where he believes that his irresponsible and negative comments about the Chrysler negotiations at a particularly sensitive time in the negotiations, he's living in a fantasy land where he actually thinks that Chrysler's decision validates his irresponsible behavior. Mr. Speaker, and it's not simply our view on this side of the House. The Federal Minister of Industry, James Moore, who's been working very closely with myself and supportive of this deal with Chrysler, has indicated that the HUDAC comments have been detrimental to the negotiations. That's not just his opinion. That's not just his opinion.
Answer.
He heard that directly from the head of Chrysler Canada, Mr. Speaker.